I think every parent looks into the eyes of their child and fears the unknown. What will become of their future? You raise them the best way you can and send them off into the world, waiting with anticipation to hear them say,
"Mom, I got arrested."
Now repeat. I really wanna get with your style and your techniques and put it on repeat. I'm thinking maybe I could give you something you can repeat.
Hello world, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite talk show with your favorite host along with your favorite people. I am Danielle and this is S.I.S, Spill It Sister. Let's jump right on into it. Here on the right side of me is, of course, my lovely co-host, Renique. Ding! Hi, Renique.
Hi.
And we have a special guest in studio today. You might have recognized her from the May episode of S.I.S Don't Label Me. If you have not watched it, finish this episode and then go ahead and watch that episode. We have Jewel Knowles. Hey, Jewel. Hi. So, on this episode of S.I.S, we will be talking about and dismantling this blueprint or succession plan of life that society has put on us as women, that puts so much pressure on us, that makes us feel as though we cannot make mistakes. From we were little girls, we were always taught who we should be, how we should act, where we should be at certain points in our lives, you know, the schooling, the marriage, the beautiful kids, the wonderful career. And we were told how to get there. But that blueprint is like what I've found out in life, because life has a way of re-educating you, that is very much so an unrealistic dream to think that your life will follow in that path. And for a lot of times, if you try to stick to that path, you're going to throw yourself into a whirlwind of depression because you're battling against life, really. And a lot of valuable lessons in life you could be battling against because you're trying to stick to this plan. So I want to ask a question to everybody out there. How many of us as little girls, we saw ourselves in our 20s living a particular way? Me. All right, so let me ask, right? Where you saw yourself in your 20s when you was a little girl?
Well, being just extremely successful, having the whole house and shebang, and didn't really picture myself, you know, married. Like, I didn't have like the dream house and dream this and dream. Like, for real, like I had friends who would put together like, I want yellow elders bouquet or all type stuff, and I never really had that book. I just wanted to be successful. So it's amazing how, you know, life plays out and everything like that. But I just wanted to always work with animals. That's always been my dream. I always loved animals. And then as I got older from that little kid, then I decided to, you know, work with animals that are native to the Bahamas. So that just continued from there. But the whole, I think it's based on basically because of my mom. My mom was always education driven. So that whole finish high school, go to college, get a degree thing, that was always that. It was never really a find a man to take care of you type of person, no.
So in your blueprint that was given to you, the part that was left out was the part of the wife and to be the wife in the beautiful family. That was left out, but definitely you had to go to school, get good grades, get a good job.
Yeah,
career.
Education was a big thing. If I didn't get good grades,
I know. So for me, when I always thought by 23, I would have traveled the world on my music tour. And with my husband. Listen, Beyonce and Jay-Z, I had the original blueprint for the Beyonce and Jay-Z thing. I thought me and my husband was to like travel the world. I see somebody asking me who I thought my husband was could be. So I thought I was gonna marry Little Romeo. Because I think every young girl, millennial woman, when they were younger, we feel like we used to either marry Romeo
or Bow Wow.
Yeah, like, everybody feel like that was their soulmate. So I thought we would have come off tour, and I had the baby in a stroller, gonna go pick up my sister from school, and I'm telling my bodyguards, no, let them through.
Big dreams.
Big dream. I thought like by 23 I would have been married and all of that. The Lord laughed at me when I really put that thought in my head, because I'm 28 and I'm not married. I'm very happy. Of course, me and Little Romeo don't have a relationship. I don't know if he thinks we have a relationship, but we don't. We don't have a relationship.
Right.
And also that, even as simple as the thing of the infatuation has also faded as well. So those things that you had in your head as little girls, as you grow up in time, those things begin to fade away as you walk into your womanhood. And I also, have good grades, get good grades, go off to college. And it was devastating to me because when I graduated from school, I didn't have the ability to go to college. And that threw me in depression, like a serious state of depression I was in, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm supposed to graduate from high school. I'm supposed to go off to college. Now what do I do? Because I can't get a good job. I can't have a career. I could be poor. Like legit, those are the thoughts that were running through my head. No man is going to want to marry somebody that's not educated. And I was so wrong. If I would have went off to college, directly to high school, I would have wasted everybody's time. Because I did not know what I wanted to be. I knew what others wanted me to be. And that's what I was chasing after. So with all that going on, I'm just happy that didn't play out. So Jewel, I have to throw this question to you now. Where did you think you were going to be when you were a little girl?
Okay, so I'll just piggyback off from where you left off with chasing after something that your parents would want or your family would think is best for you. So for me, I thought that I would have ended up being a school teacher like my mom. So she's heavy in the education system as well. And of course, good grades is on top of the list. You have to make the honor roll, So that was something that I ran after. I also wanted to be Miss Bahamas.
I can see it though.
I wanted to be like a top model type thing. I was all about the glam. Even though I was in my books, I still like to dress up and stuff like that. So, of course, life happened, and none of that actually came into play. But I went to college, wanted to go off to school as well. But of course, I had other circumstances that caused me not to be able to go off to school. So I had to settle to go to UB.
So, and I know we addressed this on the last episode, something happened in between your high school years and your college years, and that was you had a baby.
Right.
And that is not, we don't think about those things in the plan, but it's something that happened to you, and you were still able to move forward past that and go off to school. So bam, you already knock off something that people said, when somebody has a baby young, oh, you can't go to college, you have to mind a child. So you was already able to overcome that. And I'm sure a lot of you out there, thinking back now, hearing what we're saying, you're probably saying, hey, my life didn't turn out the way I thought it would have when I was younger. One of the big things is the reason for me, I think, why it's not just women, a lot of humans are not happy is because they're trying hard to follow the succession plan because they think that it's going to make them happy. And the succession plan is all about chasing or trying to perceive to the public this image that everything is all right. And people just be catching hell in their life.
Yeah. And you ain't supposed to make no mistakes.
Exactly.
So I know I watched Sarah Jake's interview, and she talked about people zooming in on the mistakes they make, not actually zooming back out, looking at the full picture. So basically, that's what we do. We focus so much on the mistakes and, go into depression, like you say, go into isolation, go into feeling like an outcast, whereas life doesn't really end there,
Yeah.
So
I think it's because we zoom in on what we call mistakes because we had persons inside our life who told us everything that you do that's not according to this succession plan that you spoke about is a mistake. So you have these persons who probably went through the same things that you went through, who's now like looking down on you for going through what they actually went through, but you actually went ahead and you took it, and then you went ahead and you got a college degree and everything like that.
Right.
But they say you can't get a college degree because you know what? They couldn't do it.
Right.
That didn't have nothing to do with you. Their mistakes don't have nothing to do with your mistakes.
Exactly.
I mean, your life.
Right.
I think the succession plan is the breathing ground and the foundation for jealousy. Because you feel as though I'm supposed to be at this pinnacle in life at this particular age, and it doesn't happen, but it's happening for Renee, I now have a problem.
Right.
But like you said, I'm not stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, because everybody has their own road to life. Everybody has their own journey to life. And I can't look at you saying, oh, I wish that was me. I wish I had that life. Oh, I'm so jealous. One of the best days of my life is when I got fired from
An organization.
I don't call it name. Okay. So that was one of the best days of my life. They called me in the office 5 o'clock on a Friday when you're supposed to be off. They let me work the whole day. They let me work the whole day. And when the manager said, he couldn't even look me in my eye, really nice guy. He called me and said the general manager wanted to see me in the office up front. And I smiled because I knew it was coming. I smiled because I knew what was coming.
I hope you didn't do no work if you knew it was coming.
It was
I hope
5
you kick
o'clock.
up- I hope you kick up your feet all day.
No, I didn't, because the thing is, let me tell you how good day is. Somebody went on vacation. I worked that person's job for 2 weeks and leave out the office until 7 o'clock. Work 2 hours overtime for not a single dollar extra. The thing is, a month before, I remember me sitting behind my desk and I looked to the right, to the wall, to the right. And the Holy Spirit said to me, if you didn't know, don't mind my mouth sometimes. I'm a firm believer in Christ. And I looked to the right of me, and the Holy Spirit said to me, what would you do if I took away your income? Just like that. And this was the job. I used to pray and listen to gospel music before I go to work. You know it's bad when you have to pray and listen to gospel music on your way to work. And when he told me, we have to let you go because we have to downsize in the company and we don't know where else to put you, I just smiled. And it was sort of crazy because there was bills in the house, but I was happy. I was happy to be let go. And that was one of the best days in my life, because I started to live life. That's when the journey for me really happened. That's how we got to this point today, when I got fired from a job, no more steady income. The happiest day.
And that's the thing, right?
Cheers to that.
Cheers. The thing is, right, people they'll be happy for, like you said, that was the happiest day of your life because you were able to be free and do what it is that you actually wanted to do, or walk into what it is that God called you to do. But a lot of times, it's we are supposed to be content. If God give us something, we should still be content. If he doesn't give it to us, we should still be content, because everything is his. It's not really ours. What we do is for him. It's not for us. So basically, I just feel like you walking away and smiling, that was a good thing. You're content.
But I remember you being on that job, and I remember like everyone, my mommy, me, everybody in your life was telling you, they're saying you're calling. We were telling you that. Like, we were literally saying, I don't know why you just don't do something like with your personality. Like, you would be such an amazing media person. And here you are now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, Renique really, and I love her so much for that. And her mother, Kim, the Body Forbes, aka Gaudy Money, that's her mother. I remember walking into her office one day, and she honestly sat me down and she spoke to me about the communication thing heavy. And Jewel, for you, something happened to you what made you be pushed out of your safe haven, out of your job. And you could let them know exactly what that is.
Okay, so for me in 2019, I would have been on, at least 2018, I would say, I would have started my dream job, what I hoped to stay on for years. I already had building project going on already, had everything planned out because I was already married at that time. So I already had everything basically.
You had the succession plan down.
down pack, right? And things change, you know. A lot of things change, and I got fired as well. And that was because of going to jail. I was incarcerated. Unfortunately, it wasn't my fault, but I was, you know, pushed into, and I would say dragged into a situation that I was helpless in. Whew. So it was a lot of humiliation, public humiliation, you know, reputation damaged. I mean, it was all over the news, newspaper, you name it, Facebook, it was everywhere. So that pushed me into working on my brand more. You know, I started to push my business, even though I would have been in business 9 years later. 9 years, sorry. I also would have had time to myself to actually birth 3 other businesses in that space of time as I, you know, from then to now.
So it took that moment of what, honestly, Jewel, from going from teenage pregnancy to being incarcerated, see, and this is the thing, Jewel's Instagram, if you look at her Instagram account, you look at her and say, oh my God, she's doing things, she's moving. No, for true. And like you said, you were married, you had the succession plan. But boy, I can't walk a day in your shoes. No, for true, because if I'd be like Paul and Silas if I was incarcerated. I sing until I see the walls fall down. Like that would be me. I could not have been able to do it. And the fact that you were able to, from public, you said it, public humiliation, being on the news, to now, so I Google you. I Google you to look for some stuff, right?
It pop up with me right now.
But it took a while to pop up, to tell you the truth. You know, it popped up prior to that. You being in the Tribune for your business. You being in the Guardian for your business. So the thing is, we just look at people and be like, oh, well, this happened to her. Or whatever the case may be. But people get back up from that. The only time I see people not get back up from that, or be miserable and try to be miserable, to what we can talk about in the next segment, for these people on the job who's be trying to make your life a living hell because their life is a living hell because they ain't living the way they want to live and they feel like you young. And anyway,
That sounds so personal.
I'm just saying, am I lying in the room that you have some people that look at you and are intimidated because they aren't living a fulfilling life because they're too busy trying to give the perception to others that everything is all great.
Right.
You have people who mad just because you happy. You smiling, you laughing, they're like, you don't deserve to be happy because you've been through things.
But you know what I've been through to get here.
But why are you watching me so
But
hard?
my thing is, with all of this is, right, you wouldn't know how your response would be until you're actually in the predicament that you're actually in, right? So a lot of persons would have, I went back and I read all the comments.
Really?
Yeah, a year later. I went back and I read them and I was like, persons like, oh, if I was this, I would have do this, and if I was that, and I would have do that. But it's like, you wouldn't know until you actually be in that place.
Was it heartbreaking to see persons who you knew probably commenting on?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I hope you
It
cut
was
them off.
very devastating. Yeah.
That was your real question. I hope you cut them off.
But you know,
Yeah,
Jesus
but
saves.
I was glad because, you know, at your lowest point is when you see who's actually real. It's when you actually see who's actually there for you. And you would have had persons who would have reached out to be nosy, of course, and then you would have had persons who genuinely cared. And that's the way it was.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. And right after this commercial break, we're gonna dive in more to dismantling this succession plan that society has put on us as women and basically as human beings. Right after this quick word from, you could do the blah?
Blah, blah.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on shooting room.
Okay.
Calling all photographers and videographers. This studio is where creativity meets integration. Built-in voice-activated studio lighting, motorized backdrops with multiple color options, and customized sets for all of your production needs. Be it music video shoots, a YouTube video on the green screen, or virtually hosting a live stream event. The only thing that limits you is your imagination. Need a few things? Ask us about our equipment rentals. Let us help bring your vision to fruition. Book with us via email at tmedia1202@gmail.com, phone number 242-455-8711, or our website, ttmediabaah.com. Hourly rates are available.
Welcome back to your favorite talk show, and we are here, of course, with Boom, Renique, and Barao, Jewel. So, Jewel was telling us about her period of being incarcerated and having to go through something publicly, and her sitting back and reading the comments. And I like what you said when you said when you're at your lowest, you find out exactly who in your corner. Mm-hmm. And sometimes even when you're at your highest, you find out exactly who in your corner. Because people would be looking at you and trying to figure out how you get what you get.
Right.
And they only round you to try to figure that one out. Because as far as they're concerned, that's the end of the day. Say, I want you to do good, but I don't want you to do better than me.
Yeah.
And that's because of this stinking foundation we're trying to dismantle today, that there is no such thing as one roadmap in life. Like, legit, there isn't.
Right.
There honestly isn't. Renique.
Hey. Yo.
Sup. We've spoken about some things here and there, and I've told y'all about some things. You know, I had toxic relationships. I had. Okay, we ain't go too deep because that's a lot. Y'all go back and watch the episodes if y'all want to find out what I'm talking about. There we go. Go and watch the episodes if y'all want to find out about what I'm talking about.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. But it's important to have people in your corner who will support you. And that's why Renique is one of the persons that are always here by my side, because from as long as I could remember, you've always been pushing me and you've always been supporting me. So I want to say open in public, thank you. Thank you very much. And I said before, once upon a time ago, because I was trying to follow a succession plan, I was jealous of her. Because Renique had the 2-parent home. Renique was able to go off to school. Actually go to school.
Went to UB,
yeah, went to UB right after school. And I was like, why is it happening for her and it's not happening for me? So this is my family, y'all, and I had a taint of jealousy. And I'm ashamed to admit that because, like I said before, the succession plan is the foundation for that. Because we looking at each other trying to figure out why you and not me. And I think that's why a lot of women are bitter.
And miserable and angry.
And being trapped in situations they really don't want to be in because you're just trying to look good for the public. So
That's true.
So
I just want to put in there that even though I support you and everything like that, I didn't support you in your foolishness. So with those toxic relationships, no. Because some persons, your friends telling you what's going on and something isn't good for you, and y'all mad at them.
Yeah, that happens.
It's y'all mad at them.
And that's what got me in a jam also, because this is tea.
okay, all right.
I call it tea,
All right.
but I call it a testimony, right?
Okay, yeah.
But parents and family, they will warn you about certain stuff, and you think they're trying to harm you and they're trying to stop you from doing certain things. So I would have had my aunt who would have told me, I think you should wait 3 years before you get married. I don't think you should just, dive into that. And I was like, okay. Not listening, of course. Still went ahead and did whatever I pleased. Going into something blindsided, of course, because, they said, if you're not going into something with God as the head of it, you might as well call it quits. It crumbles to the ground. So I was actually in the world at that time, and for me, I was blind. The minute I came out of prison and I gave my life to Christ, I started to, seek God for certain things, and that's when I actually, the scales were removed from my eyes, and I was able to, walk away from something that I didn't want to, because everyone's dream is to get married. At least most females, their plan is to be married to someone for the rest of their life, happily ever after. You watch these love movies, and you want that. You want that. and for me, it wasn't easy to accept that this isn't working out. But people see pictures, like you were saying. They see it you see on social media that they look good together and this is nice or whatever, but behind closed doors nobody really knows what's actually going on. So it's like you paint this picture like it's so good and perfect, but then again you have so much going on. And I had to make a conscious decision in my mind to say that I'm going to choose me. And I chose me. And I'm free and I'm at peace and I'm happy with my decision, because I allowed someone to, move on freely with their life, to, find their self, and for me to continue to find myself.
Yes. And I think that's important. Finding freedom is so important. And before anyone that is watching here, this is a judge-free zone. So before you open up your mouth and say, and I know it's going to be said from somebody watching, oh, that's why it's important to raise your girls in church. All us grew up in church.
Yup.
Every one of us.
Church.
Exactly. And let me also be the one to say that the church is the root of a lot of our problems. Some of y'all ain't ready for that conversation. Let's go to the next episode of this. Because one of the things also is, what you said was very important. A lot of women are afraid to leave a marriage because it's wrong. It's wrong for me to be happy. Excuse me? If I did something back then, everybody makes mistakes. Like you said, you weren't listening to the persons around you. That's fair. But now you see, hold on, wait, I need to free myself.
Right.
You have to do what's best for you in every situation. And when you're scrap the blueprint that you were given, scrap the succession plan that you were given, and look at what makes me happy.
Right.
I don't care what makes you happy or what makes you comfortable. I don't care how you perceive me. What I really care about is what makes me happy.
And that's the thing, a lot of persons be looking for people's approval of stuff, whereas only God's approval really matters in certain situations. That's the truth. So just have to do what's best.
We've also been taught what God's approval is. So it's not where we're hearing it from God ourselves. It's what's been instilled into us from being a child.
That's true.
From being a kid. So they tell you, God ain't gonna be pleased if you do this. God could be upset with you if you do that.
Right.
God may not. You even have some persons in the church, and some persons in the church just really evil. That's why you some really evil people in the church.
True. Yeah.
And they will tell you certain things and preach different things that would make you really go into depression.
Right.
And think about ending your life and things like that because of what they believe and how they try to put it into you. Everybody have a belief.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, this plan, this structure, this blueprint, this type of things are only said to women, to young girls. For a lot of guys, in some instances, the thing that they are told is to be happy. Men are encouraged to be happy. They're encouraged
when
to
they
provide.
don't have to wake up to wash no dishes. because their mommy don't believe that man should wash dishes, so they can play game
that's a
all
topic
day.
for another day, baby.
Okay. They don't gotta clean the house. They could just be boys. Boys can stay inside the house and live with their parents for how long? Till they like 45.
Jesus. So it's okay. It's okay for boys to buck their toe, and everybody is like, oh, okay, you know.
Boys just being boys.
Yeah, boys just being boys. But when
Toxic masculinity.
But women, who?
Yeah, it's like it's the end of the world.
But I'll say it's okay to start over.
It is.
It is.
There's no issue in starting over.
You talk about the blueprint. You have a floor plan, right? For a house. Women, I mean, men would be like, yeah, we could just go with this. But for a woman, you revise it, you add, you take away, you change it, you adjust. You want the room to move over this way, you want the closet space wider. So it's okay. It's okay to make adjustments. You just shift, evolve, adjust, and keep
move
it
on
moving.
with your life, because at the end of the day, only you live in your life.
Yes.
Only you have to go to bed with those thoughts in your head.
Yep.
I just told somebody the other day, you always have to do what makes you happy, because when you lie down in bed and your thoughts going through your mind, only you have to deal with that.
Yep.
Only you have to deal with that. So what you could do, you gotta have other people on your mind, or you gotta have happiness on your mind as you go to sleep. I'd rather have happiness on my mind when I go to sleep.
Sleep peacefully, like a baby, snoring.
Snoring. Are you serious? And I think that's I think that's another episode of SIS, but I'm going to plug this in here so y'all could remember this. In terms of illnesses among black women, I read a study, because of the pressures that we go through, that's why we're so at risk.
Wow.
Because there's so much pressure put on our head. Yo. Thank you. There's so much pressure put on our head from we were little girls.
Yes.
And we grow up with that. But I remember hearing my women in my family, you know, they have pressure. They have to take pressure medication.
Are you on that now?
Really? Oh, wow. So how, like...
I ready to prescribe some Bush to you. Are you on pressure pills?
I don't take it like how I'm supposed to, because I don't claim those type of things.
Okay.
But my mom, she's on it full time.
Yeah.
And I guess it's hereditary, but I normally would have it.
Stress is a factor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
When I have a lot going on.
Yeah. But again, these two women that sit on the opposite sides of me are very strong individuals. You heard a little bit about Jules' story, and when I tell you a little bit, I mean just a little bit of Jules' story. And I respect her so much for coming here and talking about it, because I think this is the first show that you've been on to talk about your incarceration.
Right.
And Jules has a book coming out very soon.
Yes.
So that's why I really didn't want to go too deep into it, because she's coming back. She didn't know that, but she's coming back when you release the book, so we can talk about it.
But the thing is, the first time I talk about the incarceration was actually last month. That was my first time.
On your Instagram.
So that was almost 2 years later, I decided to, I had a 40-day fast. So after that, the Lord literally told me it's time to open your mouth and share. So that story went viral on Facebook for some reason. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, my book is coming out, and I will be talking about the teen pregnancy, the divorce, the incarceration, toxic relationships, and so forth.
You mentioned another juicy chapter to me the other day. Sorry to tell the people our business, but you mentioned one little juicy chapter. It was the incarceration, the divorce. Man, it was one little juicy chapter. I can't remember what it was. Because you tell me you don't want us to talk about it, so I forget about it. But it was juicy. Yeah.
The street life?
The street life. Yeah. It was the street life girl. She was the street life.
Yeah, I talk about liking gangbangers.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then transitioning. And then transitioning into a gentleman. Yeah.
A gentleman? So you're saying a gentleman now? You seeing a gentleman?
No, I mean my ex-husband.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I was
that.
getting some tea. You see, I try to squeeze the lemon, dog.
But yeah, it should be released soon, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, thank you. And she will be back. And then, of course, I have Renique here.
Hi, baby, cause I'm a thug.
All day, every day. Maybe because I'm a thug. Wouldn't change for the world. That's right, because I'm a thug. That's right, you.
No.
Because I'm a thug. Oh, yeah. Check it out. Would it be my baggy jeans or my gold teeth that make me different from y'all? Shipping y'all. Okay, right? So, we're wrapping it up once, sis.
Oh,
And the blueprint, let me tell you something. When I was going to travel the world, I wanted to be a singer. I was serious with that on the last episode too. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to follow in the footsteps of the great Michael Jackson. And I practiced that turn and spin and land on my toe for weeks. You hear me?
I remember you used to watch Tempo.
Yeah, I used to watch Tempo. My Grammy them block BET for me. So they had a parental block on BET.
Oh, I hate that parental block.
Girl, I sit down one day after school and I picked that. I gave a sweet cut it. I picked that lock, dog, because I wanted to watch BET. But I thought I was going to travel the world and, sing. And then, of course, I told you last time, I found out I couldn't sing. So that wasn't going to
You
work.
just can't sing well. Everyone can sing.
I agree with you.
Joy.
Because I can't sing well, but I can
Sing.
I can sing.
It's just, well. No? No?
Okay, so we wrapping it up on sis. Because the disrespect in this room is very real. So on sis, as you know, we always do at the end a cheers to us moment. And I want to start with our brave guest, Jewel.
Okay, so what do you want me to say now? Just what I want to say?
Right, what are you cheersing to? What are you happy about? What revelation did you have during this conversation?
So I just want to say that life is a journey, and it takes us to both challenging places and wonderful places. So I want us to cheer to being intentional. I want us to wake up every morning and do what it is that we were called to do. I want us to live purposefully. And I also want us to make an impact, make a difference for people who are watching us and persons who are in our circles. Just make a difference.
Here, here.
Cheers. More fire. No, I can't.
No, you can't. Y'all pray for my co-host, yeah?
Seriously, deeper as my cheers is to, of course, living life unapologetically and doing what it is that you want to do that makes you happy and not giving a damn
What nobody got to say.
nobody got to say.
Yes.
Here, here. So my cheers to us moment is for the ability to have open conversations like this, where we can tear up that blueprint and we can say that it's okay not to be okay. It is okay to admit that you had mistakes in your... As a matter of fact, I don't think anything in life is a mistake if you came out of it.
Right.
I think it was a lesson. And one of the things that I always say is if you look at something and you're still regretting it, that means you haven't learned the lesson from it as yet.
I haven't overcome it as yet.
Exactly. Everybody has their own path in life. Everybody has their own destiny.
Right.
Follow the path. Let love, life, and happiness and God lead you. Block out what everybody else got to say and focus on yourself, dog. Because only you can love you the way you need to be loved. And only one man can take you to places where you need to go. And that's the Lord.
Yes, yes.
Amen.
I agree.
Amen. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Spill It, Sister. Cheers.
Cheers.
We was just gonna go pour it out for the homies.
You say spill it.
No, that's that street life coming out of you. She just gonna go pour out this good wine for the homies. Yeah.
In the car, but I really wanna get with your style and your technique and put it on repeat. He had a nice frame, he was tatted from the neck down. Met a couple months ago, but sorta new friends now. See, I was with somebody when he tried to put the Mac down. Luckily for me, that nothing but an ex. Now coincidentally, I kinda knew it when we met that he would be somebody that I maybe would regret yet. I just let it go because we sorta kinda mesh, and I really like the way that he's kissing on my flesh. And I was so distracted, started feeling on his chest, and he got so excited, yeah, you know what happened next. Then I'm lying beside him, only see his silhouette, but I feel him looking at me like, baby, you the best. And I really wanna flex with your style and your technique. I really could get used to your smile and your physique. He thinking all night about it like he on repeat. Stop, now repeat. I really wanna flex with your style and your technique, and put it on repeat. I really could get used to your smile and your physique.